Alright, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the best show on YouTube. Ricky's Podcast, everybody. Yes, sir. Extra special episode. Not really, but it's pretty good. I don't know. Alright, we're back at it again. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just finished up what should be my last midterm, so that's pretty cool. Ended up on on the worst midterm, man, dude. Last midterm was theory, music theory, and yeah, theory is one of those subjects, man. I'm terrible at it, and I can't understand people who are good at it. I mean, it's just, I don't know. Also, I don't know, theory is one of those classes too that, I mean, the subject is also hard. I mean, it's hard enough just in general, but the thing that makes it extra bad here is that they decide to put it so early in the morning. Not only that, but they put it so early in the morning, and then so many other classes have to be done like so late. You know, like the ensembles. So at one time they make you come in at 9 o'clock in the morning for theory, but you gotta meet 7 o'clock at night till 10 for combo. I don't know. It's one of those things, man. If they just made it later in the day, it wouldn't be like half as bad as it is. But we just out here hustling. At least that's what the kids are saying, dude. Yeah, that theory midterm. Crazy stuff. Mentally drained my brain. Don't know why I decided to shoot a podcast here while I'm just exhausted. But we're here. Let's see. Yeah, thinking of maybe getting back into reading. I'm thinking of easing up a bit on the video games. Not because it's like any kind of problem or anything. I'm just, I don't know, just like looking for other interests. I like to diversify my portfolio. So, I'm thinking of, moving, looking at other things, figuring out what there is to do. So, anybody have any suggestions? Let me know what I ought to do. Thinking of getting back into reading. Wondering what else to read. I've been really into the postmodern stuff. I think I don't know, somebody. I've told people. But of course, Thomas Pynchon, the face of the podcast, my favorite author. It's great. My God, I gotta wake up. I'm also trying to ease up on the caffeine too. I don't drink coffee. Okay, I'm probably repeating myself yet again, but I don't drink coffee, don't drink any of that caffeinated tea. I'm just a soda guy, but even that, it still keeps me up. I don't know, I guess I just don't have that resistance or whatever to caffeine. Cause a can of, one of those cups of Pepsi or Coke, whatever I choose to get that day, keeps me up just all night long, man. So I'm trying to cut back on that. Probably doesn't help that I usually drink it at 5 in the afternoon. From what I understand, caffeine's more of a morning drink. But I guess I just gotta deal with sounding half asleep for these things when I shoot them it's the afternoon. But, for what I do, it's basically the morning. God. Oh no. We might have another lost episode on our hands. Alright, pull it back. We're pulling it back. Watching a TV show called Community. It's one of those shows that I'd always heard about, but I'd never quite got into it. I don't think it was on anything for the longest time. And then it's on Netflix now, so I'm watching through that. I'm in the second season now, and dude, I don't know. I guess there's plenty of time for it to turn around, but man, it's just so far the second season's just not as good as the first one. Just I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Although I think part of it too is that they demoted Senior Chang to a student, which I mean, I guess it could work. It could work, but it's just as it is, man. Like he was so much better as the Spanish teacher. I don't know I don't know how they messed that up. I would have kept him. Probably would have kept him the teacher for at least a little while longer, at least until they had to graduate Spanish. But I don't know. I guess they were all graduating Spanish anyhow, so they had to do something with him. But they could have made them the anthropology teacher too. That would have been pretty funny. Just like he's just the only professor in the school. But it's not like it's terrible. It's just I don't know. Just Senior Chang, like first season was hands down my favorite character. Hands down. And then now he's just kind of, you can't help but feel like he's been reduced a bit to just just another character now. But anyway, that's just me moaning, complaining. Nobody listens to these things, luckily, so I can, complain all I want. God. If people didn't see, from a few ago, I did wind up platinuming the Dark Souls 2, so that's cool. Got a little bit into Dark Souls 3, but taking a little bit of break. Don't want to burn out on my Dark Souls, because they're a very good set of games. So I want to keep it fresh, keep it new, keep it moving. So yeah, that's what's going on. God. And that's the thing about quarantine, man. If you're planning on making podcasts and stuff, because you're stuck indoors for so long, you don't really have a whole lot to talk about. It's just went outside the other day, got into my car, drove to work, did my job, and came straight back. So that was pretty cool, I guess, Can't go anywhere. Hot take, I know, but it kind of sucks. But oh well. I guess there's ways around it. I should start doing some more interesting stuff, Because I get into all the kind of conventional stuff that everybody has as a hobby. Like everybody watches TV, well, generalizing, But everybody watches TV, everybody watches movies, loads of people play video games, read books. I wanted to have a weirdly specific hobby that just, that people pay attention to. I don't know. Like horseback skeet shooting. That's what I'll get into. But yeah, I don't know. Thinking of maybe getting into shooting. I'm not one of those home defense people. I just want to do it just to let off some steam, Get out there, outdoors. I never quite appreciated the outdoors before, man. I was more of an indoor person this whole time. But now that I can't go outdoors for a lot of things, I kind of miss it. So I'm thinking getting some kind of hobby that gets me outdoors. So maybe like a gun range or something that's outside. I don't know, work on my accuracy or whatever. Well, first I gotta work on my gun safety, because I ain't ever even held a gun before. So I'm thinking of maybe looking into a class or something, or just some guy just to show me through the basics of how these things work. Because all I know is what I know from movies and video games. That's all I know about guns. It's like a camera, just point and shoot, whatever that is. But I don't know. If anybody knows anybody, I'm looking. I'm still looking, trying to find it. trying to find a partner, someone to do shooting with. I feel like that's like a total psychopath move, just going to a gun range alone and just unloading. But, you know, I guess who cares? You've got a gun. What are they going to say about it, you know? But anywho, I'm thinking doing that. And once I get the hang of it a bit, I think I might, one day, maybe not anytime soon, but one day I want to go hunting. Just to figure it out once, you know? Again, it's one of those things that maybe it's just the fantasy is going to outweigh the reality of hunting. Because I know, at least for camping, again, never camped either, I know. I had like no childhood, but you know, camping, I hear, like, it sounds cool when you're a kid. It's like, yeah, we'll just be out there in nature, get to see the animals, have a good time. You know, it all seems like a fantasy until you have to sleep on the bare ass ground, you know, with just a sleeping bag being the only differentiation between you and just the nakedness of the open wilderness. But hopefully it winds up being a good experience, fulfilling experience. I do need to get in shape, though. I do need to do that before I go out, because I don't want to get out there, be in the middle of absolutely nowhere, and just eat dirt, you know? Just actually die from exhaustion, because, man, I ate it fairly recently, man. We made the attempt to hike up a mountain, Justin, Luke, and I just absolutely just ate it. I don't know. Although I will say Luke was going pretty fast, if I have any kind of defense. He was going very fast. And of course, me being me, you know, being the macho man I feel like I have to be, you know, I'm like, yeah, I'll keep up with this, you know, I'll keep up with this guy. No Harvard cunt's gonna outmatch me in anything physical. So I just went for it, and it was not the good approach, I tell you. Not the way to go. I ate it hard. Just laying down, just head on a rock, just wheezing, you know. And it was funny, Luke just being like, hey, you know, maybe you should get some water. It's like, no, I don't think water's gonna heal my broken muscles, you know. Yeah, drink some water. And just to add to the whole patheticness, I had my thermos thing just hooked to my belt. Not hooked to my belt, actually in the belt, just inside. So in order for me to even drink my water, I had to just straight up, you know, remove my belt and just, you know, absolutely demean myself. Should have brought a backpack for that. But, you know, that happened. Drank a bit, rested up a bit, passed out a couple of times, but, you know, it is what it is. No, you know, you can't climb a good mountain without losing consciousness at least a couple times. So I didn't make it very far, and unfortunately my pussiness did wind up costing us the whole endeavor. So that was unfortunate. However, we did have a good time afterwards. But that's one thing I do want to, like, get on pretty soon. Getting in shape. Because I know I'm, like, wildly out of shape. Especially compared to what I used to be, man. I used to be great. And this sounds like, you know, coming from, like, a 52-year-old man. It's like, yeah, when I was younger. But, dude, I'm, like, 20. This isn't the age where I should start, you know, reminiscing about when I used to be in shape. So I'm just gonna, you know, I've just got to get down to it. It'd be nice to have a workout partner. However, I would I feel like I would prefer to have a partner who's just as out of shape as I am. Otherwise, it just gets depressing, where they're just like running down the trail and it's just like, hey man, you doing good? And I'm just like wheezing behind them. Just legs are like seconds away from giving out. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm alright. You know, just like, you know, death rattle already going. I don't know, and you know, I don't know. I wish I knew some wildly unhealthy people. I never thought I'd have this problem in America, but I've got to find some overweight people, because goddamn, why are all my friends so in shape and so good looking? It sucks. But anywho, so that's that. I got to get in shape. I'm thinking, because the reason I want to get in shape is to be able to do these sorts of things. Hiking and mountain biking. I want to get into mountain biking again. You know, because I only did it like once. And it was pretty brutal, but I did make it through. And then the second time, it was like a similar deal where I just like ate shit 5 minutes in and just never recovered. So I need to get that done, man. I gotta get... Plus, I mean, I'm sure it'll make me feel better, just in general. You know, get me out of this this loop of just eating, school, sleep, and not enough of either of those. So, you know, time to take your life back. I don't know. Maybe I'll set it up. I could at least start in shooting, though. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Often am. But, you know, from my understanding at least, you don't have to be too wildly in shape to go to a shooting range. So I'll see if I can get that done. Wonder how much a gun costs. How much does a gun cost nowadays in the US of A? What's it, like 25 cents? America jokes. Haha. But yeah, it's funny. We had last semester I took this gen ed. It was the history of Germany. And the professor was from Germany, and she had all of these just the most fantastic stereotypes about Americans. And dude, the first class, it was just her listing off American stereotypes for like 20 minutes straight. And dude, it was absolutely hilarious. Just like, oh yeah, they're all fat and they're all, you know, and there's a gun store on every corner, you know, and every American owns a handgun at least. And it was hilarious that like she felt so sure about these things, and then she actually took a poll of you know, said how many of you actually own a gun, and it was like 2 people out of the class of like, you know, 80 or whatever. It was a pretty sizable class. Just 2 gun owners. And she was like genuinely surprised. So that was hilarious. Man, that's one thing I always felt about, because here I can only speak for my experience and what we got going down here, but over here, man, you make like stereotypes, generalizations about any kind of race or group of people, man, people will absolutely murder you. However, man, I love it when it happens to me, though. That's the one thing that doesn't make... Because, like, the whole golden rule thing is, like, you know, treat people how you want to be treated. But, dude, if someone came in and started stereotyping my whole group of people, I would love it. I would love it. I find it absolutely hilarious when it's happening to me. Which is why I think it's sad that we aren't allowed to do it anymore. Because, man... hilarious. Whatever you can have, you know, it doesn't have to be mean-spirited, you know. I think that's really the key. It's just whatever it is, you know, it'd be best if we're kind of from a point of love and compassion or whatever. It's like a roast, you know. You roast somebody and you're insulting them, but it, you know, it's because you care about them or something. I don't know. I've never been in a roast, nor have I been roasted, so I don't know what I'm talking about, but that's what I would assume anyways. But anywho, so that's that. Man, I was contemplating coming in here, because I know I don't have a whole lot of material right now at the moment. Thinking of whether I should make this the 30-minute segment to add on to the 9th podcast, or just to do the full hour and make it the 10th podcast. And I think I kind of decided to just do the full hour. But I might change it, man, because I really didn't come in here with a whole lot to talk about. I just realized. That's the thing. Because I think for only like 2 episodes have I actually written something down. Every other time it's just been me making stuff up on the spot. So, it just absolutely eats it sometimes. Because sometimes I don't have anything to talk about. And it just winds up being an hour of just absolute baloney. But anyways, I ate shit on a mountain. And then we went to the ostrich farm. So that was excellent, man. I think even if I was totally in shape, just like ripped, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, I still would have preferred that ostrich farm to that mountain climb, bro. Let's be honest. Well, also, I don't know how I convinced myself that I'd be able to climb a goddamn mountain at this state, I don't know, but I'm pretty famously overconfident when it comes to these sorts of things, so I guess it wasn't too surprising. But we did go to the ostrich farm afterwards, and it was fantastic. Just went in, and hey, guess what? They had more than ostriches. They had like everything. It was just like a full-on feeding, petting zoo, whatever that is. Just excellent. We got to see the donkeys. Those were absolutely adorable. They had deer, which, I mean, in any other context except in captivity, fuck deer. But here, adorable. Adorable. Yeah, when they're not, like, shitting on your lawn and, like, berating your dog, they're actually pretty cool. Pretty cool. When they're not, causing you thousands of dollars in damage to your car, they're pretty cool. But we got to feed some deer. That was fantastic. Beautiful. Feed the ostriches. The ostriches were aggressive. I don't know what went wrong. Maybe it's that dinosaur DNA that they still got going on. You ever look at the feet of an ostrich? They are straight up dinosaurs. Like actual dinosaurs. And they're just still living out there. But ostriches, man. Fed the ostriches we fed most of the animals these kind of green pellets. No idea what's actually in them, but apparently they like them, so I guess it's got that going for them. But the ostriches were fairly aggressive. One bit Luke, so that was pretty hilarious. It's just, he tried to feed him and it just absolutely went straight past the hand or went straight past the food and straight for the hand. It just took full hand. He said it didn't hurt too much, but I mean, he's also similar to me. He's also a bit of a tough guy sometimes, so I feel like it was fairly painful. But he took it like a champ. I'll tell you that much. So fed the ostriches, fed these birds. I don't remember what kind. Not the parakeets. But the other birds that you feed with the stick with like seeds on it, like just seeds kind of glued onto it kind of seemed like. So I got to mess with the birds a little bit. That was pretty hilarious. If we get Justin on again, he can comment on that. But birds were actually, messing with those birds was hilarious. Possibly the second or third or fourth most fun thing about that. Hilarious, great, just beautiful. Got to feed some goats. Goats are pretty chill. Got to feed some goats again, but on an incline. So we just put the pellets in like a bowl and just, levered them up there. So that was pretty cool. What else did we feed? Fed some ducks. The ducks were great. It's nice to get wet, out here in the Arizona heat. So yeah, and the ducks were in a pool, so we got to feed the ducks. That was great. Got to feed the bunnies. The bunnies were probably the most therapeutic, I think, of all of those. Like they're all just like they're all pretty peaceful, but the bunnies, man. And I didn't get bit. I know I mean Justin got bit, I think Luke got bit, and I think just about everybody who's fed the bunnies, they've all gotten bit. Except for me for some reason. So take that as you will, but man, the bunnies, man. Just to like you hold down the feed and stuff, and they just get there and you just feel like the bottom of their head and just like how it's just all fur. Just it goes like you put your hand in and it's just fur all the way down to like the bone or something. It's all fluff. And then just pet the bunny at the same while you're just feeding it. It's just, oh my god. I would recommend it for anybody. Makes me kind of want to get a bunny. I'm not gonna, but it kind of, just for that therapy. That's all I'll do. It's only $15, so it's a pretty good deal for what you get. That's for sure. So that was great. Fed the bunnies, absolutely adorable. Love it. Got to see some turtles absolutely going at it. Like, dude, like they were just in a cage, just banging it out. I assume they're gonna make a turtle attraction, and when they do, they're gonna have to, have some turtles. And I suppose preferably some turtles who won't be attracted to each other. I don't know if reptiles have that thing where they're not attracted to their siblings. But I'd kind of assume that's what they do for all the animals, man. Make them all related so that they don't, do any unsavory things in front of the children. But anyways, it's two turtles going at it, and then they went to their little hut, so they literally got a room. So that was pretty funny. And then finally, parakeets, man. Well, not finally, but next were parakeets. Parakeets were probably my favorite out of all of them. Just because they're the only animal that, like, actually crawled on you. So, like, you'd have, like, the cup, and you just hold it out. They'd, like, land on your hand if you can get them to. They'd come on your hand, take off the cap, and just start, sipping on some nectar, doing what they do best. And dude, that was great. That was also fairly therapeutic. I mean, it hurt just a little bit, just to have their kind of, like a couple of them, like their talons, like really dug into my hand. And I had like these marks all over them when they were done. But it wasn't that bad of a pain. And, for what you get, which is just an animal just, sitting on you, I don't know, pretty nice, pretty wholesome. Pretty much describes the whole trip, really. Just pretty wholesome all around. And then I think it was like about that time, probably a couple animals before. No, it was like straight when we got into the zoo or whatever you call it. That like I just got the craziest runny nose, man. Like my allergies just hit hard. It went hard. It was probably climbing that mountain before, just something about, exhausting myself like that. And then also I'd assume the bushes and stuff really set it off. So, yeah, I just had the craziest runny nose ever. But it was still a blast, No runny nose is going to hurt that. Hold up. Water. That's right, that dead silence was brought to you by water. Drink more of it. Water, man. Dude, I love water. I love water more than anybody has any right to love water. Like, I really like water. I don't know. Everything about it, just the feeling, the look, the texture, the taste, and also just, the ocean. The actual final frontier. Man, I used to want to be a marine biologist, when I was a kid. That's just all I wanted to do. I was really into sharks. Remember that? Really into sharks. And of course now my favorite animal is the killer whale, an orca. So I just overall just love the ocean. I don't know. I wonder if I'll get the chance to pet an orca. That's my next goal. Yeah, unfortunately, they put a stop to SeaWorld, abusing their orcas, unfortunately, so I can't pet an orca anymore, I don't think, without going to someplace sketchy, but, oh well. It's better for the orcas, you don't ruin an innocent creature's life just to be able to pet it, I suppose, so, you don't make these mentally ill orcas. That's what I always thought about, because the very first episode of this podcast was, just all about Harry Harlow and his rhesus monkeys, which I think pretty much proved that animals are more than capable of mental illness. Makes me think about, all the animals. I don't know. What kind of mental illness is there for animals? Because humans get pretty boned. You got, just list them off, man. They're just all kinds of mental illnesses, just everywhere. At this point, it's probably more likely that you do than if you don't have something going on up there. But, just think of how crazy people get, and just imagine animals are like their own species with their own problems, Imagine all the depressed ants that are out there. Do you ever think of that? Depressed ants? Bipolar sheep, anxious dogs. It all goes. It's probably all true. Don't know how deep it goes, but surely most of these animals, these larger animals that we find, are more than capable of some form of mental illness. I wonder where that goes, how deep that goes. But anyways, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, petting zoo. So after the parakeets was also one of my favorites, man. We hit up the stingrays, which just an absolute departure than everything, because everything else was kind of barnyard animal-y, donkeys, sheep, goats, deer were there, which are still kind of that woodsy kind of feel. Parakeets kind of didn't really, but they kind of do. Ducks are there. Bunnies were, pretty, maybe not barnyardy, but kind of similar in that sense. But stingrays were just the most out of nowhere. So it was just, so that was great. I kind of got surprised by it because it was just in its own room, indoors, kinda. The whole thing was, or the indoors was basically kind of a tent, essentially. It was a building, but it was kind of a tent when that, it's just open to the outdoors. So we just go inside, think that we're done. It's man, that was a pretty cool trip. And then boom, you got a whole other animal to feast your mangy mittens on. So we got to feed the stingrays, fed them, they said that it was a combination of, they had some squid and some calamari that we would feed the stingrays, and that was great. Favorite part of the stingray portion was just bamboozling them. It was because we'd feed them the food and they'd eat it and stuff, but then there'd be that section afterwards where you're okay, well, we're out of food, but I still want to pet the stingrays some more. So you're okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to hold out my hand I'm going to feed it. And then boom, before it knows it, it's suctioning on. And I'll just get my pets in before it's nunny, and just, buzzes off. So I was able to successfully do that a few times. Unfortunately, stingrays do have a memory. So I wasn't able to bamboozle them many times in a row, unfortunately. So guess they got that going for them. They do, in fact, have memories. So if you think you're going to mess with a stingray, better think again, I guess. But anyway, so that's stingrays. And then after that, the animals were pretty much done. So that was that. Cruise through the gift shop. They just had the usual, what you'd expect. They had some ostrich eggs, some egg holders. They had some plush, like, stuffed animals of the animals that were there, and even some of them that weren't. Like, they had snakes there for some reason, which I don't know what that's all about, but yeah, they did not have any snakes there. But they had, snake stuffed animals there, so I don't know. Maybe it's a future attraction. Who's to say? But that was that. Cruised through the gift shop, and then there was like one of those kind of state fair type shooting games where you just hit the targets and such. Absolutely killed it. Hit everything I aimed at. That goes true with like all of shooting I know, but yeah, pretty good shot with that thing. We did find out that there was one of the targets sprayed you with water. So we had a blast or I did at least. I had a blast just pounding that same target over and over again. And just, getting hit with the water over and over. Yeah, sorry about that audio weirdness like a couple of seconds ago. I was just going through something. Dang. But anywho, that was great. Got all wet right before going back into the car, which is always a good thing. But it wasn't too bad. I got wet, but not too wet. So then got back, talked about how beautiful that was. And then we had some food. Food was great. Shout out Serial Grillers. Very nice. Very good. Would recommend. However, they don't have fries for some reason. I don't know what that's all about. They're like a burger place with like, well, not, like burger slash, like, fucking, what are those things called? Not like a Hot Pocket, but like an Italian calzone. They had calzones and like steak and stuff. But the burgers, they didn't have any fries. It was like a bag of potato chips, and I got a packet of carrots. So, which is funny. I'm really not a chip guy. I really don't like chips. It's just really not my thing. I mean, potato chips I can kind of withstand. They're the chips I'm most chill with. But like pretty much every other type of chip, I just I will not, I refuse to eat them, man. Doritos, absolutely horrendous. Tortilla chips, terrible. Even the chip substitutes, Cheetos, garbage. Takis, an abomination of God, They're just so bad. So bad. I just hate them. I hate them. Maybe it's the crunch. I don't know. I know for like Doritos and stuff, the flavor is like, I don't even know what's going on there, but the flavor is just god awful. My opinion, of course. Everything I'm saying is my opinion. It's my opinion because I'm saying it. So, get off of me. But yeah, chips, terrible. Terrible. They're terrible. Garbage food for garbage people. And if you like chips, I hope you die a painful and slow death. And I hope you're ashamed of yourself. Just to escalate that immediately. But yeah, I hate chips, so I went with the carrots. And dude, carrots, wildly underrated, man. I have to think about it, but possibly best vegetable. I mean, I gotta think about that, but they might be best vegetable. Because broccoli's pretty good, and what else? Like lettuce is okay. I don't know if we've ever decided if tomato is a fruit or a vegetable. I don't know. Everybody seems to be so sure it's one or the other that it's like, are either of them even right? Pretty crazy. It just seems like a fruit because it like has the seeds and it like, actually is a fruit. So I don't know. So yeah, I'm one of those guys who says tomatoes a fruit. Judge me how you want, but I mean tomatoes, I've never been the biggest fan of tomato. I'm not like Justin though. Justin absolutely hates tomato. I don't know. I don't hate tomatoes, but they're not my favorite. I hear they're a lot better if you get them like the non-grocery store type of tomatoes. If you just get them kind of in the wild, I hear they're like a lot sweeter and you can actually eat them on their own, but I don't know. I've only had those trashy grocery store tomatoes, so I can't comment on that. But I don't know what other squash is like. Yeah, it's aight. Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts got a lot of hate as a kid from other kids, because I didn't really eat a whole lot of Brussels sprouts as a kid. I know other kids did, and they absolutely hated it. But I wasn't really that. I don't know, maybe it's because I didn't eat a whole lot of. Because the same goes for liver. Everyone goes on about how terrible liver is, and it's like, I don't know. I don't think it was that bad. Not my favorite. It's got that weird kind of creaminess to it. But or whatever that is. But it's not. I don't think it's terrible. I know stories of kids that would like vomit it up if they ate it and stuff, but I don't know. I don't think it was that bad. Same goes for Brussels sprouts. I had Brussels sprouts recently. And I gotta tell you, not as bad as the hype would let you believe. Not bad at all, really. One moment, let me sneeze a bit. Water. That sneeze was brought to you by water. What was I even talking about? I just sneezed and it absolutely just reset my entire brain. Oh yeah, vegetables. Let's see. Onions are one of those things that can only be like a backup singer. You can't be the main attraction, man. You can't just eat a straight up onion and still be a sane person. Like, you put it on something. You put it like on or in something. Put it on a burger. Put it inside a recipe, spice it up a little bit. I don't know. Peppers are the same deal. I mean, I kind of would prefer, and same goes for jalapenos. I've never tried jalapeno poppers. I know some folks seem to really like those, but I just haven't even tried them, so I couldn't even comment. But jalapeno is the same deal where, like, I like the heat and the spiciness of a jalapeno, but the taste just doesn't do it for me. So I need to have it like on a burger usually, or in a burrito, just with everything else. And that kind of goes for a lot of vegetables, I think, come to think of it, that they're really good backup kind of players, but they just can't hold their own by themselves, or even as a main attraction. But carrots, though. Carrots. I'm going to say it right here, right now on the podcast. Carrots. Best vegetable. I'm gonna say it. It is what it is. Hate all you want. Be like, oh, kale, superfood. Yeah, well, screw your superfood. Oh, avocado, ooh, guacamole. Ooh. Yeah, screw your guacamole too. Yeah, guacamole. Not that good. It's serviceable. Only reason you'd eat guacamole is if you didn't have literally any other type of dip. You don't have any salsa, so it's like, oh, I guess I got this avocado, I guess. Oh, well. But, yeah, carrot. Carrot is the superior food. New top 10 list on my top 10 channel. That's going to be made, coming out soon. Top 10 vegetables. It's coming up. Look out for it. Anywho. Although kind of gives away the secret just to list your number one just immediately. But hey, it's like a secret for people who managed to make it this far into the podcast. Starting a little bit of sniffle from that sneeze, man. Yeah, I bet you guys like that directly into the microphone. But anywho, so that's what I think about vegetables. My allergies were also bad in the restaurant, I'm sure it concerned a lot of people. I don't know if it was just a coincidence, but I know a lot of people, like, I had this moment when I was choking on, like, a thing of carrot and just, coughing it up, and then people just, like, everybody around us just got up and left, so I don't know if that was just a coincidence or if it was like, oh, man, he's got it. He's got the thing, but, anywho, so that was really all the things that happened. We talk smack as usual, as we do. But it was a good time. It was a good time. I do want to get in shape, but it was a good time. Let me check my pictures. So we're back. Thinking of what to do this afternoon. Because I'm finished up with midterms, and I've pretty much got like the afternoon to do what I want. So I'm just figuring it out. I don't know. I know Justin's doing something, so he's not going to be able to help a brother out. I just heard about this shoe apparently Justin wears. It's like Tivas, like Texas, but with a V instead of an X. And man, let me just pull up a picture of these bad boys just so I can remind myself how absolutely god awful. Holy cow, I'm looking at them. What is this shoe, man? Can you, again, asking for some audience participation, man. Pull up your phone or whatever. Just look up some Tevas, Tevas shoes. Sandals, more accurately. Dude, look at the tan lines from these bad boys. My God. Oh, it looks even worse on a model. There's this guy just wearing them. It's like, ugh. Jesus. What an absolute abomination. Worse than Crocs. I'll say it. Tevas, or however the fuck you say that shit, like 50 times worse than Crocs. Like, Crocs are really not that bad in comparison to these shoes. Crocs are pretty bad, but these shoes are god awful. I mean, look at these things. Not just the tan lines, but God, like I'm not like an aesthetic type of guy. Like I wear all black because I don't want to match anything. I'm pretty basic. I'm more of a if it gets the job done type of guy. But Jesus, these are some hideous shoes. Absolutely hideous shoes. Ugh, Teva. Or maybe it's just Teva. That might be it. Yeah, Tevas might just be the plural. Alright, Teva, whatever it's called. Garbage, bullshit shoe. And anybody who wears it should be ashamed of themselves. I'll say it. That's right. I know Justin doesn't listen to these anymore, but, yeah, to Justin, you should be ashamed wearing those garbage shoes. I don't know, it's not that bad. I knew he wore them anyways, like before, but it's just funny, just to rip on him. But yeah, so apparently he wears those. I don't know, maybe I'll check in with Luke. I figured out he was in town. I don't know what that was all about. He never told me he was in town. Don't know what that was all about, but hey, we made it right. It's all good now. Now I know. I didn't know. Now I know. So now we can get down to business and just get it done. Yeah, apparently Harvard is online, so we're going to be able to get that done. But yeah, that was great. I'm thinking of whether I should shoot the 30-minute extension on last episode after this, like right after this, or should I wait a little bit? I mean, as it is, this thing's already titled episode 10, so I don't know. I should probably release the last episode before this one, but we'll see, man. Times like these, I wish we had some kind of sponsor to break it up. Well, more than that, I wish I had a guest. Wish I had a guest so that I could chill out for a bit, not have to talk for an hour straight. But although I think I'm getting better. This one was a little bit rough. Had some rough times. Got off to a slow start. But, I'm doing it, though. I'm managing to make it through. I got to do some research, I've got to have just some topics just on lockdown so that if I ever need to if I ever just run out of things to talk about, I can just pull them out of nowhere. Ooh, I got it. Let's talk about Haydn's head. Yeah, you know the classical composer Haydn, or whatever the shit his first name was. I'll look that up. I don't know. I just assume every composer's first name is Johann. Let's see here. Haydn. How do you even spell Haydn? Haydn. Well, I got that going. God, it's hard to talk and type at the same time. Compose Haydn. There you go. What's his name? Joseph, whatever. Franz Joseph Haydn was an Austrian composer of the classical period. So Haydn, apparently, when he died, he had like this buddy who was like, what do you call him? Phonographer, something or other. The guy who likes to fill up people's heads to like tell the future or whatever that is. You know, he had one of those. And I guess the guy was like super obsessed with figuring out like the source of Haydn's genius and just really wanted to analyze his skull. First time, I don't know. So when Haydn died, he was just like, hell yeah. And he just like got together like 5 or 6 other guys just in this massive conspiracy to capture Haydn's head. Which, you know, I don't know, is like, the way I found out about it, it's just like, it seemed like a straight up, like an Ocean's 11 type of, you know, or you're going to distract the guard and then we'll all sneak in and with shovels and or whatever, you know. It was just hilarious. And I guess, you know, long story short, man, they did it. They got his head. They got his head and apparently replaced it with just another old guy's head. Or like a much older guy's head. Because Haydn, I think, from what I remember, was fairly young when he died. So that was kind of part of the way they were able to figure out, like, how the authorities were able to figure out that it wasn't Haydn's actual head, because it was like the head of a much older dude. Let's see here. When did you die? Let's see. March 31st, 1732 to 1809. So if math... No, he actually lived pretty old. I was wrong. I was probably thinking of literally every other composer that died in their 30s, it seems. But yeah, this guy actually made it pretty far. Lived into his 70s. Damn. Okay. Well, either way, they replaced his head with one that was like definitely not his head. So, you know, the police were able to catch on and be like, bro, what the hell? So, you know, they come to the guy and don't remember exactly how they figured out it was him. I think someone might have ratted him out, but he was just like, you know, the police just show up. It's like, hey man, you mind giving back our dead genius's head, you know, so that he can, you know, rest in peace. And the guy was like, all right, sure, gives him a head. Wasn't Haydn's head. The guy just happens to have just a closet full of heads. Which, I mean, we're not even going to look into how absolutely psychotic that is. Just, this guy just casually has just a stockpile of heads. You know, just in case you need a head for something. So he gives the police like another fake head that's like closer to the age of Haydn. And apparently they replace it. And I'm trying to remember the end of the story, man. I don't remember. I would like to say that eventually... Yeah, now I remember. Like they did catch on again, and they come back. It's like, okay, dude, seriously. If you don't actually give us back Haydn's head, we're going to have to murder you here in the street. We don't care. It's the 1700s. Police brutality hasn't even become a conscious thing yet. So we're just... Give us back the head or we're going to fucking kill you. And, you know, surprise, he did. He actually gave him back the head. Don't know what he gained from all that in the end. But apparently what I also heard, which not 100%, apparently they buried Haydn with both his actual head and also the fake head that, you know, the dude had given them before. So that was, I don't know, pretty interesting. So whoever that guy was, congratulations, man. You get to Your head gets to share a casket with Haydn. I'm pretty jealous. Not jealous. I'm alive, bitch. Outlive them all. Ha. Losers. Yeah, Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, Johann Sebastian Bach, ha, Mozart, ha, you know, fucking Hitler, fucking bullshit ass motherfuckers. Tell you that. What a bunch of chumps dying. Ha. What a bunch of losers. So yeah, anywho, I'm weirdly proud of being alive, even though everybody in the world's managed to do it so far. So, you know. Am I really that special? I don't know. Couldn't tell you. Could not tell you. What I can tell you is that I'm about to drink a fat drink. Weirdly dehydrated, I guess. I don't know what that's all about. Let's see here. But I'm going in. Going in, boys. Water. That was a fat chug, son. Yeah, I feel like I got the habit of drinking a ton of water from my plasma donation days, man. Haven't done it in a while. Oh, God, my chair. Yeah, I pulled the lever to bring my chair down, and surprise, surprise, it worked. And it just absolutely jump scared me. But yeah, I used to donate plasma, so, you know, and if you don't know, when you donate plasma, you're supposed to drink a ton of water beforehand. Like, just throughout the day. I think it's to, like, thin out the blood or something, so that it's easier to, like, suck out of you. So, you know, makes the process go by a lot faster. So yeah, you know, drink a ton of water. And also eat protein, apparently. Kind of makes sense, you know. Keeps you from, like, getting weak. Because think this is, like, your life juices, and they're just draining it out of you. So apparently that's a thing. If you don't, you know, eat enough or whatever, it could be a problem. Like, you could pass out. But, you know, of course, never happened to me. It used to be a problem, though, when I was, like, I think I started donating plasma when I was, like, 16 or something. Like, it was, like, basically the minimum age you could on your own, which I think was 16. I was donating plasma, and I think it's just my veins were just not developed or something, because, like, the needle would go through a lot, and it would just, like, I would just bleed inside my arm, and it would just have this crazy bruise, you know, which I was also how I found out. Apparently that's how bruises happen. Just like a blood vessel or whatever, or, you know, a vein bursts inside your body, and it's like kind of just internal bleeding. So, fun fact, I guess. But yeah, that was a lot of, that was not fun. Just getting, and it would happen like every other time I would go, it would bruise my arm, and I'd have to, like, quit it for like a month or something. And then I remember the one time, like, it happened bad. And, like, and of course, when they bruise your arm, you know, you obviously they can't keep putting more blood inside / taking it out, you know, because that would make it even worse. But so what they did is that, you know, they'd have to stop it, and you had to pretty much just hope that they weren't, you know, that they didn't draw too much blood out of you, because whatever you lose, that's, you know, just straight up lost. Which also means that, you know, if you lose too much blood, you can't come back for a while. Because, you know, your body needs like 6 months or something crazy like that. Like, it's a pretty long time, man. If you get unlucky and, like, the thing breaks or whatever, or the thing shuts down, like, right before it's about to put it back into your body, you know? Like, it could be a problem. And then and then you can't do it for another 6 months, because your body needs to replace all those, like, red blood cells. So that happened to me a couple times. And the thing is, I got lucky the first time, because it was only, like, it was less than halfway full, which that's how they do it. So basically their rule is if they catch, you know, if it winds up messing up, like, when it's full, or anything over halfway full, they have to defer you for like 6 months. But anything under that, you can come back again. So basically, if you get under, it becomes a 2-strike system to where you can lose it and it's good. But if it happens again, then they do have to defer you for 6 months, which happened to me, unfortunately. It happened twice, so I got deferred for 6 months. And then I didn't do it again for like 2 years or something. Like a pretty long time. But then when I came back when I was like, I think I was 19, or, well, I guess math would say 18, but like I think it might have been 19 when I came back. And, and it never happened again. Like it never messed up. I never got a bruise again. Nothing like that. It was just totally cool forever. But yeah, I mean, yeah. If you're like a college kid or just poor, ooh, hit a hard P on that one. Dang, son. Angle your breath away. But if you're poor, I gotta get a pop filter. If you're poor, I'm gonna say it like that, like me, and you're looking to make a spare few bucks or whatever, donate plasma. Saves lives, apparently. I can't confirm or deny that, but apparently it saves lives. And you basically get paid for doing nothing. You just sit there on your phone, watch a movie, whatever you want to do. And you're good. You're golden. And if you're really good about drinking a ton of water beforehand, you can get it done relatively quickly, man. I think you can even get it done like within the hour. And then it's like $25 an hour, so it's like more than double what minimum wage. Yeah, you can only do it twice a week, but, good chunk of change. Good stuff. Get it done. But yeah, man, plasma donation. Thinking maybe I'll get back into it. However, I need to set aside the time because it takes a lot of time. It could potentially take like up to 3 hours. If you're like if you've only drank like a moderate amount of water, it can take like 3 hours. So it's a real investment of time. But it can work out really well for you. So I don't know. If you got the time, you want the money, boom. Postmates it. Postmates. You know what's bullshit about Postmates? They don't deliver to my house. I don't know what that's all about. Kind of racist Postmates people they got working on there. But yeah, nothing delivers to my house. Not even just Postmates. Like Grubhub, Uber Eats. None of them deliver to my house. And it irks me to no end. I don't know. Maybe it's just that there's no Postmates driver anywhere around this area. But yeah, nowhere delivers to where I am. So that's pretty weird. Though hopefully that can change because I hear they're going to try to develop this area a bit more. Which makes sense. It would be nice, kinda. I mean, I'll be out of here in a bit, but, be nice to get this kind of developed a little bit more. Get a Walmart. That's what I hear they're going to make. Like, there's some cotton fields next to us. And I hear they're going to make him a Walmart. Which has got to be just the ultimate, the ultimate example of the corporate takeover of America. Just like, yeah, look at these wide open fields of cotton agriculture. Just living off the land like our forefathers. And just, in your pickup truck, your Ford pickup truck. With your dog in your back seat and your wife who's also your second cousin and riding shotgun, while you go, I don't know, hate black people or something, or whatever Southern people used to do back in the day. But yeah, they're replacing the cotton fields with a Walmart, apparently. Just a Walmart and a fat parking lot. Don't know when they're going to start working on that, but apparently it's coming. I don't know. But, yeah, it could be good. Has the potential to be good. They already got, like, some schools there. Might as well develop it out a little bit more. But it's also good the way it is now, just peaceful. Yeah, you have to drive a ways to get to any kind of real kind of store. Like the closest we got is like Family Dollar, which is only like kind of like, let's be honest, Family Dollar is only like a single step above convenience store. And it's pretty much what it is, except you can't even get gas there. So, matter of fact, I'm gonna say it, step below convenience store, because it doesn't even give you gas. What's that all about? So yeah, what's that? Family Dollar, not the best, but it's all we got, and I guess that's all we can have. We got a new Jack in the Box. That was pretty cool. It opened up. We got a new Jack in the Box and a Bisbee Breakfast Club, which the Bisbee Breakfast Club I have not been to yet. But I don't know. I've been to a Bisbee Breakfast Club once, and it was pretty cool from what I can remember. So, you know, hopefully hopefully if everything's consistent, that one will be pretty cool too. But yes, so that's gonna happen. Bisbee Breakfast Club. Food reviews. Next YouTube channel. It's coming up. Look out for it, guys. Add that to your list of channels that are coming up. Ricky's Food Reviews. I'll review Bisbee Breakfast Club. Or whatever. And Jack in the Box. You know, Jack in the Box. Weirdly expensive. I know. They are very expensive. However, their biggest crime, I'd say, is that the burgers. I'm gonna drop a bomb here, son. They ain't that good. Burgers ain't that good. McDonald's burgers are better than these burgers. And McDonald's burgers are shit. Actual shit. So, I don't know. They do the weird thing, kind of similar to Burger King, but way worse, where they're like, you know, like, we want to make it seem like a real burger. So what we're going to do is that we're going to actually grill it, and then we're going to put some actual stuff on it, and we're going to put some actual tomato and ketchup and lettuce and whatever else they put on burgers, and then we're going to give it to you. Except these things are made by children who have no idea how to cook anything, which is the thing. Like, at least McDonald's, like, you know, the foods is like, it's basically poison, but at least it's something that kids can make and not mess up. You know, you can really mess up a burger if you're really not with it. And dude, my burgers they're just not good. I had one that was like basically all ketchup. I don't know what that was all about. And just all the other ones, I'm not feeling it. I had their chicken sandwiches too. Those weren't very good either. I don't know what that's all about. So all I get from Jack in the Box nowadays is just the spicy chicken tenders or chicken strips or whatever they call them. Yeah, I go hard too. I get the 10-piece like a man. 10-piece spicy chicken strips, son. And I just, you know, absolutely just murder them. One sitting, no net, no condom, just boom, in and in. And out later in the day, because I don't know about everybody else, but I'm at that age. Spicy food just goes straight through my body and out my ass. Violently, I will add. Yeah, it gets pretty violent. Although I will tell you, it's like weirdly relaxing, I guess. I don't know. It kind of doesn't make sense when you think about it, but like, whenever I go to like the Jack in the Box, get the spicy chicken strips, or I go to Chipotle and get my burrito with all 3 salsas. Yeah, that's right. I'm a real man who can't climb a mountain for shit, but, you know, whatever. But, you know, after that, you know, all night I'm just going to be blasting ass all night long. And even weirder than all of that is I'm going to like it. So, it is what it is. I don't know. I guess you just kind of got to deal with it. I wonder what that's all about, though. Because when I was like, I think even just like a year ago, 18, 19 years old, spicy food I could take it. Just nothing. Just boom, boom. But now I've, you know, eat spicy food, man, I'm gonna be on the toilet like till next Christmas, Sonny Jim. That's another thing, man. Christmas. Man, I'm at the age. It's like actually, like I've actually got to think pretty hard before I go, to try to figure out what I want for Christmas because when you're a kid, you're like, it's simple stuff. It's like, yeah, I really want the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle action figure, and I want the new Super Mario game, and I want a bike and a trampoline, and all that jazz. But when you're older, man, I don't know. I struggle to figure out what I want, and I don't know. I guess it's a good quality, I guess, not to be so materialistic. But what it really means is that, I'm just lacking in everything's non-material. Like, I'd be like, everything I want is like, I want 9 hours of sleep at night. I want to be less anxious about my studies and my existential crises in general, I want to be not as stressed all the time. I want to be not as anxious all the time. I want to have the confidence to talk to people and total strangers, These are the sorts of things that I want. You can't buy that in a store, in case you didn't know. So I'm just kind of stuck with it. But I don't know. It's nice, Good quality to have, I suppose. But, I mean, that's pretty much it. I think I know my second podcast has the record for being the longest podcast. And it's like at an hour, 20 minutes or something. And I really want to break that record because the second episode just was not a good episode. It just really wasn't very good. I'll say it. Like the first episode, I was still trying to find my footing, but at least I had my Harry Harlow Reese's Monkeys thing. The second episode, from what I understand, it was just bullshit straight through. Which, I mean, that's what it usually is. But, I don't know. I want that to be the record. I know it's not going to be the record forever, but I don't know. I think I'll just break that record with a guest. I'll get a guest on. We can break the record. Figure it out. But yes. I don't know. Maybe I can extort Luke into getting into this. Maybe he's the next guest. Who knows? A plot twist. What do you want? But I don't know. I was thinking of maybe breaking the record with this podcast, but I'm not going to do it solo, man. That's the thing. I never can get a guest, but I like doing these, so I just keep doing them even though I'm solo. I wish I could have just a regular co-host. If anybody wants to audition, hit me up. And remember to like the video if you liked it. Subscribe to become a gangster today. Leave a comment so that I know that real people are watching this. And, I don't know. Do what you want. It's America. Maybe it's not. Maybe you live in, I don't know, some place where they have no human rights. Like, I don't know, fucking America. No, we got plenty of rights. What I'm talking about. But, anywho, this is just my way of saying the end of the podcast is here. I never know how to end these things. I need to come up with a catchphrase or some kind of known endings. But, anywho, that's my time. Thank you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. End of the podcast. It's the end of the podcast.